Dr. Sanjay Oak is an Indian surgeon specialized in field of pediatrics and laparoscopy. He was the former dean of the Seth G Medical College and King Edward Memorial Hospital in Mumbai. He is also an elected fellow of the National Academy of Medical Sciences, former director of medical education and major hospitals for Medical Colleges in Mumbai. He is a prolific writer in Marathi and a weekly columnist of great repute. Dr. Sanjay Oak was also the Vice Chancellor of the Padmashree Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth, Navi, Mumbai, the CEO of Prince Ali Khan Hospital, Mumbai, and Aga Khan Health Services India. He was appointed as the chairman of the task force for COVID-19 in Maharashtra.
Black marketing of remdesivir, I will never pardon ourselves for that. Flouting of set protocols. The task force is advising you something, but you give on giving steroids left, right and center and invite mucormycosis subsequently. All these problems, mucormycosis was always kept by us for option when we passed our MBBS. But we saw it, we experienced it. And that was because we overused steroids. That was because we flouted the set protocols. That was ugly. Playing capacities, making life and death decisions, and the fire in ICUs, these were all ugly. So there were shortcomings, there were success stories, there were lessons learned. Changing mindsets, delivering the change at a very rapid pace. Black marketing, quarantine consensus, confusions that the lockdowns created. Home quarantine limitations. I had always said India is not a country where we can go ahead with home quarantine. अरे आपण फॅमिलीमध्ये येऊन सिरियल बघतो, जेवतो, त्याच्याशिवाय आपली जेवणच पूर्ण होत नाहीत. मग एकाच माणसाला खोलीमध्ये ठेवून आपण कधीच होम क्वारंटाईन नीट करू शकलो नाही. आणि म्हणूनच when the second wave came, the difference between the first wave and the second wave, in the first wave, one person out of 6-membered family was getting affected. In the second wave, all the 6 members of the family were getting affected. So we questioned whether the home quarantine is a right approach in India. Cost containment of COVID commodities, negotiations with pharma sectors, something which is available today, monoclonal antibodies at 1,20,000. Task force is of the opinion that it should not cost more than 15,000 rupees. When the test started, RT-PCR, you will remember the test we used to pay 4,000 rupees. If the person was called at home, it was 9,000 rupees. It was at that stage I very loudly said that in my mind the cost should be 999 rupees and 99 paise. So people in the ministry asked me, Sahib, batachi kimmat kutna kadli tohi? And I said, that is the price that I am aiming at. People laughed at me. Today the test is available at less than 400 rupees. So the commodities need to be discussed and debated with them. Early institution of pediatric vaccination program, which the task force has been talking for weeks together now, still falling on deaf ears. Interval between 2 dosages, whether it should be 82 days, 60 days, 28 days, this confusion has also been regrettable short. And the role played by monoclonal antibodies and they not being made available abundantly. These, in my mind, are the regrettable shorts of this. But the task force did something good. It told us one thing. Embrace disruption and lead the change. Accept the change and lead it. It taught me one important lesson. And what was the lesson? It taught me that public health is political. If you want to work in public and public health, accept politics as a part of your life. Don't shy away from taking sides in politics. And second thing it taught me, public health is everywhere. That is the priority. So the priorities of health sector have changed. 10 years back, if I ask a young student, काय होणार तू बाळा पुढे? सर तुमच्यासारखा सर्जन होणार. Today he will say, सर इन्फेक्शस डिसीजमध्ये करिअर करायचं म्हणतो रजिस्ट्रेशन मिळालं तर. सर क्रिटिकल केअरमध्ये करिअर करायचं म्हणतो. Priorities of health sector are changing. Research vistas emerged. For last 20 months, I have not been able to get any research funding apart from COVID. All the other projects have been stalled. I coined a new term and I said, this is COVIDization of world. This is COVIDization of scientific world. There is no money available for anything else outside this. So the research funding got heavily tilted. shortfalls and shortcomings of critical care. See, Mumbai is not Maharashtra. I might get the best of treatment when I was admitted in Fortis, but am I able to give it to everybody in the interiors of Maharashtra? Unfortunately, no. And that is my shortcoming. That is my shortfall. The surgeons became jobless, and there was deficiencies in teamwork which became obvious. So old ways won't open new doors in this state. That was clear. What were the management lessons that I have learnt, and I want everyone to listen? Resilience in systems is needed. You must be flexible. You can't be very rigid. Draw a framework, but be flexible in that. Fragile services do not stand. Whatever you want to make today should last for at least 10 years. So think today of 10 years in advance and then plan your systems today. That is required. Capability is the critical issue, but compassion is second to none. You must feel in your heart that this is my brother, this is my mother, this is my aunt, and I should serve the patient accordingly. West has experienced what is called as austerity crisis. It's not that money can make things happen. No, unfortunately, no. That's the lesson well learned. And as Professor Mashelkar always says, frugal engineering is the key. India can make brilliant things. By Make in India, let us make the things for us. And that was what was evident in this pandemic. What were the management pearls that came out? Competency needs, leadership traits, strategic thinking, stakeholders' inputs. And who are the stakeholders? The most important stakeholder is the man in the road. He is your ultimate stakeholder. Intelligence and innovations, investive development, do collaborative programs, look for opportunities in adversities, and sustainable processes. So today, if you ask me, sir, who in your opinion is a good COVID leader? At the end of 20 months of my personal experience, I can see it's like a fairy tale of Cinderella, which carries a statement, have courage and be kind. Simple words. That's what Cinderella says, have courage and be kind. So genuinely care for people, genuinely care for them, whether he is from palace or whether he is from a juggi jhopdi. Lead from the front. I developed the worst of the COVID because I was working with the COVID patients. I was not sitting in an ivory tower of a CEO and passing orders, but I was actually operating, going to ICUs, going to CT scan departments. So I contracted COVID in my hospital. Lead from the front. Be constantly in a learning mode. Till yesterday, I had not heard of B.1.1.529. Now I know substantially about it. So be constantly in a learning mode. Learning entirely an unknown domain. See, my life has been pediatric surgery, laparoscopic surgery. Infectious diseases and virology was completely an unknown domain to me. But once the responsibility is bestowed upon you by the state government, you can't say no. So be in a constant mode of learning the unknown. Be a teacher, be a mentor, be a proctor. So many times there used to be phone calls at 11:30, 12 in the night, you are just tired and sleeping. सर मी जळगावमधनं बोलतोय, असा असा पेशंट आहे, एवढं केलं आहे, आणखीन काही देऊ का हो? त्या क्षणी वाटायचं झोप मोडली. पण मग म्हणायचं नाही डॉक्टर असं करा, थोडंसं हे देऊन बघा ना तुम्ही, बघूया ना आपण काय होतं आहे. 2 दिवसांनी फोन यायचा, सर तुम्ही सांगितलेलं केलं आणि पेशंट बरा झाला हो. That particular second phone call was the complete success story of whatever we were doing. So be a strategic designer. Things that are possible and can be done in Mumbai is not the end of it. I should be able to do it at Gadchiroli. That was my objective. Choose between two rights. As I told you right in the earnest, choosing between a right and wrong is at times easy. Choosing between two rights is very, very tough. And don't be afraid to say certain things. Sorry, I don't know this, sir. I would like to read about it. So these are the hallmarks of a good COVID leader according to me.
समस्त बंधू भगिनी आणि वारकरी भाविक भक्तांनो, तत्वज्ञ संत श्री ज्ञानेश्वर श्री तुकाराम महाराज यांच्या नावाने आणि विश्वधर्मी प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ दा कराड यांच्या अथक प्रयत्नाने साकार झालेल्या या विश्वशांतीच्या घुमटातून भागवत वारकरी परंपरेचा हा ज्ञान विज्ञानाधिष्ठित अध्यात्मशास्त्राचा दिव्य संदेश संपूर्ण मानवजातीला सुख, समाधान आणि शांतीकडे घेऊन जाईल याचा आम्हाला विश्वास वाटतो. जगभरातील मान्यवरांनी गौरवलेला हा विश्व शांतीचा घुमट लवकरच जगातील एक आश्चर्य म्हणून ओळखला जाईल आणि भारताला विश्वगुरू म्हणून मान्यता प्राप्त करून देईल अशी आमची प्रांजळ भावना आहे.